talking nonsense, say the nonsense. Say the nonsense with a lot of pride. So next time you're talking, you speak up, you enunciate so that we get exactly what you're saying. Emerald, mute your mic for a second, if you will. I'll return to you shortly. Blessing, can you hear me? Is Blessing
Yes, I
back
can,
here?
sir. I just contacted the lecturer.
Okay, update us. We're listening.
So he
Blessing.
said he'll be joining us anytime from now.
Okay. Blessing, I'm having a mini class of sorts, if you call it that, an interactive session. So Blessing, you keep an eye on the group. I'm actually multitasking. I'm in my office working on something else and doing this as well. So I'm multitasking. So keep your eye on your screen. The moment the lecturer joins, you can interrupt me at any time, okay? Blessing, did you hear me?
Okay, sir.
Blessing, did you hear what I said?
Okay, sir.
Brilliant. Okay, Emerald, so unmute your mic. So
yes, sir, I did.
Brilliant.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Okay, Emerald, you can unmute your mic. So I was saying, and look, this applies to everybody as well. I'll tell you guys a story. I think it was in 2013. 2013. I was working at Radio Port Harcourt at the time. I was hosting a somebody called me over the phone. I'm doing this with my phone. I told you guys I'm multitasking. Did you guys hear the last thing I said? Emerald, I'm assuming your mic is unmuted. Did you hear the last thing I said?
You said somebody called you.
Okay. Did you hear when I said something about what happened when I was working at the radio station in 2013? Did you hear that part?
No, sir. It's
Okay, that's when the person called me. Okay, so I was working at the radio station in 2013, then it was known as Radio Port Harcourt. It's now known as Wave FM. And I was hosting a live show, and then the station manager, his name is Mr. Kester Buzube, he walks into the studio with a script, not a script, a paper, small sheet of paper in his hands, and he hands the paper across to me. At breakneck speed, while I'm anchoring a show, I was reading what he sent to me in that sheet of paper, and he said, Sammy, will have a special guest. You have to take him on now. Okay, not a problem. And I kept on doing my show, and then I saw some stern, I don't want to say violent looking, but stern, wicked looking men, some in plain clothes, some in, I would say military uniform, but DSS guys, walk into the studio with glasses and everything, frowning their faces, and a gentleman known as His Excellency Chibike Rotimi Amechi. He was a one-time minister under the administration of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. He was, at that time, a sitting governor of Rivers State. He walks into the studio and sits next to me. What's going on? I was hosting a sports show, and then I see the governor of the state walk into a studio where I am. What's going on? And then the head of station, Mr. Buzube, who had handed a sheet of paper to me, handed another sheet of paper to me and said, the governor is on a tour to all media stations in the state, and he just dropped by without telling us, but you have to put him on. And while I was on, I did something along the lines of, okay, you're still listening to Radio Port Harcourt 91.7, my radio, my city. Sammy Wejina is my name. And we've just been joined by a very special guest, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Chibike Rotimi Amechi. Your Excellency, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio, for Rivers people. And that was it. We began the conversation. Questions were asked. Yes, I got some assistance from people in the News and Current Affairs Department. But the lesson I want all of you to learn from this is that if you want to become a media personality of note, want to be respected, emulated, and admired at all times, you must be confident. Some persons would have frozen. I'm a sports presenter now. Oh, they didn't even tell me that governor is coming. No, it's live radio. People are listening in their cars, from their living rooms, in their homes. Your job is to act as a perfect conductor, seamlessly ensuring that you move from point A to point B. And if you cannot express yourself, if you're a bag of nerves all the time, it becomes a problem. Before I go back to Emerald, Blessing, do you have any news for us? Is Blessing with us? Emerald, if you can hear me, unmute your mic and say hello.
I can hear you, sir.
Thank you, Emerald. I was asking, what's the biggest lesson you've learned from
Yes, sir.
Wednesday? Yes. Who's talking? Is that Blessing? Is that Emerald?
I can hear you, sir.
I know you can hear me. I'm asking, who is talking? Blessing or Emerald?
I think it's
Yes. Who's talking? Is that Blessing? Is that Emerald?
It's Blessing, not it was Blessing, not me.
Okay. Blessing, do you have news for us?
Sir, it was Blessing, not me.
Emerald, please mute your mic. Thank you. Blessing, do you have news for us? Emerald, please mute your mic. Thank you. Blessing,
It takes 3 business working days for Blessing to get your message.
Yes, sir. Our lecturer just joined us.
Okay. Blessing, are you using a hands-free or a headphone? Okay. Blessing, are you using a hands-free or a headphone?
None.
So where is the hallback coming from?
Yes.
So where is the hallback coming from? Blessing, can you hear me? Blessing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm not using an earpiece or headphone.
Okay, brilliant. You said the lecturer is with us, so the floor belongs to you, Blessing. Take it away.
Yes, sir.
Belongs to you, Blessing. Take it away.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. So our lecturer just joined us, and we would commence the class immediately. I hope we're all with our writing materials, our pen, our papers. Please pay keen attention and just
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Sammy, how you doing, man?
Very well, thank you, sir. Thank you for doing this for us. We appreciate you, sir.
No, the privilege is all mine. Let me start off first by apologizing. I'm very, very particular about timing, but I had to take the whole family to the passport office to go get their passport renewed. And when I found out it was the same day, I found out a few days, it was the same time as me being here. I was going to cancel on Sammy and say, let's move it further. But then I'm also very conscious of the fact he has everything structured, and it would actually affect. So I didn't want to do that. So the plan was, let's see how I can hustle all of this. And I'm happy I managed to. So permit me for coming in slightly late, please. Punctuality is a virtue, very, very powerful, very, very powerful. All right, I perceive that if we were to leave our microphones on, it would be a bit of an issue. Can Sammy or Blessing, whoever, confirm to me how long I have with you guys?
Blessing, this is your class. You're the captain, so take it away.
It takes 3 business working days before Blessing gets your message.
Blessing, can you hear us?
sorry, sir. I didn't quite get that.
How long do I have with the class?
As long as you want to spend with us, sir.
Undermeant. All right, let's try the best we can. I would like. All right. Okay, I'm going to nominate people to introduce themselves. Let's start off first with. No, I don't want everybody to introduce themselves. I just want. Blessing, this is your network. Can you just mute yourself, Blessing, please. Blessing, it's your network.
Okay, sir. So we have here Bumi Nasiru.
No.
Can you
Just
hear me, sir?
I don't need you to introduce them to me.
So my name is Ifyok Blessing, and I'm the class captain for this class.
Okay.
Also a trainee for the next media star.
Okay. Let's do this again. Can you hear me clearly? Blessing? Yes. This will be a struggle. Let's try. All right. Emerald.
Grebos, sorry, can I say something? Sorry, just very quickly. Grebos, please. Blessing, you can hear me. You are a captain and you're playing an integral role in what we're doing today. We deeply appreciate that. But do us a favor. I think because of the network difficulty from your end, whenever you're not talking, whenever you don't have the floor, just mute your mic at that point in time so we don't have the interference from your end, please. Thank you. Grebos.
All right, thank you. So I'll start with Emerald, because she's right beside me. Emerald, can you introduce yourself to me? Just in 30 seconds. Tell me a bit about you. Your time starts now.
Okay, good morning, sir. My name is Pepu Emerald, and I'm a graduate of mass communication. I just finished from Rivers State, and I'm a trainee for the next Media Star 2023.
All right. You still have more time if you want to tell me more.
I don't think.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. Let's go to Emeka Okwara. 30 seconds. Tell me about you. Emeka Okwara, your time starts now.
Good morning, sir. My name is Emeka Okwara. Actually, student of political science with Open University, and I'm also a trainee in the next Media Star. Now I'm partly already into the system, but I actually came to learn more because Sammy, my boss, Sammy Regina, has actually been somebody I've been following for over decades now.
All right. Thank you, Emeka. Let's go to Emeka Madwa Kolam.
Good morning, Mr. Moses. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nemeka Madwakola. I'm a graduate of education, mathematics education, Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. I got into the media and broadcasting space last year with 106.9 Go Uni Radio, Enugu. I'm currently resident in Port Harcourt, and I'm here to enhance my skills and learn more about the media space. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Bumi Nasiru.
Good morning, sir. My name is Olubumi Nasiru, HR and Communications Officer of Passion Tree Care Services, Secretary of Next Media Star. That's all, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Bumi. Esther Ukwoma. Is Esther there with us? I will take that as a no. All right. Courage, Ben.
Good morning, sir. Sorry, I'm having network issues. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
My name is Esther Ukoma, 200 level student, Department of Development Communication Studies, Rivers State University. And I'm a volunteer with XLFM, Rivers State University.
Okay, thank you. Courage, Ben, are you there?
Good morning, sir. My name is Courage Ben, a student of the River State University 400 level Department of Mass Communication, currently doing my internship at 103.7 Excel FM, and I'm also a mentee of Sammy Regina in this exciting next media star. I'm also into music. That's all, sir.
Thank you. Onome Emasoga.
Good morning, sir. My name is Onome Imasuga. I'm a 400 level student of electrical engineering in the University of Port Harcourt. I'm a trainee in Next Media Star Season 7, and I'm aspiring to be someone in the media space. Thank you.
Thank you. Bumi Nasiru. Have I called Bumi Nasiru?
Yes, sir, I've spoken, sir.
Yes, you have. Okay, I need 2 or 3 more people and we'll round this session up. Let me speak here, Daniel Monday. I'm only calling the people I see their pictures, so it's easier to put a face to the voice. So go ahead, Daniel Monday. Okay, we can get Daniel. Iyoha, Samuel.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, house. My name is Samuel Imoti from Benue State. I'm here in Port Harcourt. I'm a graduate. I'm not a graduate. I'm a secondary school graduate. But I saw this from my boss and the way he does his thing on the television and on the studio, and I love it. And I decided, I called him and I told him that, sir, I want to join your school, your program, and learn from it. And he said yes. Even as I am a secondary school graduate, I can do it, and that's why I'm here, and I'm loving it already. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Samuel. Neka Adaugo Oswagu. Is Neka here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, sir. My name is Neka Dugo Swagu, a graduate of political science and experienced executive assistant with over 8 years of experience supporting high-level executives. I'm also a podcaster, and I'm grateful to be here when I saw also a trainee of the Next Media Star. I'm also grateful to be here and also here to also get some more knowledge from experienced professionals like you. Thank you.
Thank you, Neka. Okay, we'll take 2 more people and then we'll get into the session fully. Well, we are in the session anyway, because I'm picking points up. Let's get James Chukuma.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. My name is James Chukuma. I'm a graduate from University of Port Harcourt, English Language and Literature. I'm a decorative painter and currently a consultant at Tutorial Home Decor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And Michael, can you round us up with this?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ene Michael Oishoma. I'm from Benue State, Idoma to be precise. A graduate of Nassau State University, Kefi, and studied mass communication. I'm an actress, and I'm happy to be here. I want to gain more knowledge and learn new things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ene Michael. I appreciate
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Mozez Praiz. Let me first correct something. Nobody here must introduce themselves with, my names are, no. You are not introducing more than one person. You are introducing yourself. So that is your name. Nobody says, what is your names? Or nobody says, what are your names? No. All right, the right introduction at every point in time is, my name is, or I am. Anyway, my name is Mozez Praiz. They call me the Grey Boss for obvious reasons. I'm a sportscaster, a media practitioner, with over 25 years experience, almost 30 years experience, I dare say. I love traveling. I enjoy sleeping. I like not to be disturbed when I'm eating or having fun or watching a movie, which is my most favorite pastimes. I also enjoy making friends, and I like going out. TV has been a very strong passion for me, and it's been something that has given me the glamour that is. It's given me the fame, and it's given me the ching-ching also. I am delighted to be part of the next Media Star facilitation, and I think it will be an utter absolute honor to impact whatever kind of knowledge I can for today. Now, one of the ways we're going to go about this, since we can all not respond, everybody knows how to do the thumbs up icon. You can thumbs up to show me that you know how to do that. Right there, yes, I see only 2 people. That's 3. Don't turn on your mic. Blessing, please. That's 4. I see 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, it's coming up. It's coming up. All right, you know it. Don't thumbs up anymore. You can take it out. All right. Now, the way I started, I asked you guys to introduce yourself to me. Just tell me a bit about yourself in 30 seconds. That's what we call the elevator pitch. What that means is, let's say you have a proposal to sell to somebody, and you've been trying to get this man. It is hard for you to get this particular person. Could be a man, could be a lady, could be anybody. And one day you are at an office, random office, maybe to see somebody. You get into the elevator, and this is the person you have been looking for. Question is, how do you drop your proposal? Because that's not the point for you to say to him or to her, good to see you. My name's R, and I was thinking because I've been trying to get a hold of you, so I've been thinking if it's possible for me to get your number or get a contact so I can reach you to so because I have a proposal that I want to. You to think about it. If you were in the person's shoe, would you accept? Would you be interested at all? No, you won't. You understand? You're like, okay, if you want to be polite, you say, okay, just see somebody, I'll give you somebody, If you don't want to be polite, you say, no, no thanks. And you just turn away. My point is, every time you meet somebody, it's an opportunity to sell yourself. The first thing about a TV presenter, and I often say, it's not about what you present or you are presenting. Say you are a sportscaster, say you are a lifestyle presenter, say you are a political presenter. Say, I don't care what it is you're presenting. What you are selling ultimately is yourself. Is yourself. So if you were to write, the first thing you should be as a TV presenter that is appealing, that is acceptable to your audience is enthusiasm. How enthusiastic are you about the thing you are doing? I'm going to ask a question now. Remember to use the icon. Anybody knows Victor Equeba? Okay. Good. Apparently just a few people know him. Victor Equeba.
You can mute your mic.
Blessing, you are welcome. Victor Equeba is a former footballer, played for the Super Eagles, and of course is well recognized with his time with Monaco, a team in France. So they called him the Prince of Monaco then. He is the African Footballer of the Year in 1997. Victor Equeba is on a show on Supersport called Monday Night Football, hosted by my colleague, Charles Anazadu. How many of you here have seen Victor Equeba on air talking? Okay, Not many. I'm sure not the ladies. It will be mostly the guys. But only 5 people have seen him. I can bet, I won't bet my car, but let me bet airtime that no lady would have seen him on air. Anyway, let's come back to it. What characterizes Victor Ekpeba? For most people who have met me and they say, how do you do it that you're on air with Victor Ekpeba and you never laugh? And I'm saying, why do I have to laugh? He said, my God, that guy's grammar is horrendous. And in the true sense of it, Victor misses his tenses, messes his grammar back and forth and all that because he really doesn't have that formal education. So by virtue of his talent, he is where he is today. So for people who want to debase him and say, how can SuperSport allow such person who can't speak grammar? And I'm saying to them, with all your grammar, you can knock on the door of FIFA and they open it for you. Forget CAF. Right? Victor can step anywhere in the world because he is Africa's Footballer of the Year 1997, because he is Victor Ekpeba. Lionel Messi, I'm sure the ladies will know that one, can't speak a word of English. But let me come to our language now. They don't born anybody well, may no open door for him. Cristiano Ronaldo makes an effort, at least. And in all making that effort, of course, how you bastardize the English. But you must open the door for him. Now, I'm saying all of this to say this. If you watch Victor, one of the things that will catch you first is how he is passionate about what he's saying. If you go past, navigate your way through the minefields of his grammatical errors, he has content. He has something he's delivering on. But what he sells you is his enthusiasm. That's what he sells you on. And if you don't have enthusiasm, especially when you are introducing yourself, you don't even understand that the first brand, people think it's until you become a bit popular, recognized, that is when you have a brand. No, you are a brand right now. And it starts with, what is your name? And he said, my name is James Juma. I attend the University of London, and I'm a program builder. What are you doing? A communicator? Second thing about the TV. Now, I'm not tabulating this because I want this to be very, very organic, okay? I'm going to run through the session very quickly, and then you give me feedback, and then we'll do question and answers. Because I think if you ask questions, it helps a lot. So I don't have anything tabulated. I'm basically telling you how my life is. So I've said the first thing is enthusiasm. And if you go look up the word enthusiasm, it means God inspired. In other words, if you are not inspired divinely, that's when and not because you don't know you are inspired, you just don't recognize that, wait a minute, I am Onome Emasoga. Do you understand what that means in itself, that I exist? That in itself is the reason why you have to listen to me. I am Bumi Nasiru. I'm not going to speak to you 2 sentences. No, there's a whole lot about me because I am divinely inspired. And I'm not saying you have to read scripture to be divinely inspired. I'm saying just your very existence as all Ozunye, your very existence should carry enthusiasm. If there's any person who I felt their enthusiasm when they spoke to me was Nemeka Madwakolam and Neka Oswago. It felt like these people knew why they are here. They know what they are doing. And I guess maybe because of high engagement with high executives and persons, it automatically will condition you on how to talk. So communication is very, very key. And people do not understand. For mass communicators here, of course, they'll tell you the basic rule of communication where it goes from the sender to the receiver. There's a feedback. Of course, the message goes through, that basic cycle, But very importantly, why you have to have a feedback is to be sure that the message that was sent was accurately received also, because your receiver can, mess your message up. So communication is very key. And I'm going to break down that aspect of communication where, number one, you must be precise and concise. Every person who has heard me here has heard me enunciate. I'm sure you understand what it means by enunciating. It means my letters, my consonants, my vowels are not hidden. They're not hidden. So for instance, if I were to say Emeka Okwara, you heard me say Emeka Okwara. Imagine me saying Emeka Okwara. You understand? I'm not enunciating the ra at the end. Onome Emasoga. You enunciate. Every time you call, let me even start from there first. Every time you call your name, my word, people should be like, now, wow, this is your name, they sweet you. Oh yeah, that is your very identity. It must never, ever, and I'm saying this to all of you here, if that's the only thing you learned today, that's fine with me. You must never mess your name up. Uchechi, mute yourself, please. You must never mess your name up. That is your identity. They take that away from you, you are nobody. You are nobody. So when you are going to pronounce, call your name out, who is this person? Admin, you have the power to mute. So just mute people, okay? Anybody who comes in here doesn't know why they're here, mute them, please.
No.
Can somebody mute this person, please? These are the issues. Where was I? Your name. You must never come to a point where, can I meet you? And it's Emerald Pepple. What? Emerald Pepple. No. The way you will enunciate your name will catch attention. My name is Emerald Pepple. Communication, enunciate. Emerald Pepple. There's nowhere you are rushing to. That's another aspect I'm going to. You must also be very, very deliberate, very intentional. If you notice the way I have been communicating with you guys, I'm not rushing anything. I'm pacing myself. Another point. You got to learn how to pace yourself. Again, did you see me enunciate the P in pace? Pace yourself. Don't rush anything. Some of you will run shows that are 15 minutes. You can run that show in 15 minutes and deliver everything you need to deliver. I see Sammy do it. That's one of the things I actually like Sammy for. So if there's anything you know, that guy sells you on his enthusiasm. He's happy to be where he is, doing what he's doing at that material point in time. So why would you all not like that? Why would you all not aspire to that? And when you hear him speak, now there's another thing. Now, because of the kind of show people do at times, they may rush it a bit. They may pace it a bit. Let me not use the word rush. They may pace it a bit, but the energy has got to remain. So these are very important, gentlemen and ladies. I've dealt with enthusiasm. I said, sell yourself. I've dealt with communication. And in communication, I've said you have to enunciate appropriately. When you enunciate, people hear you. They hear what you're saying. I say you guys will pace yourself. Don't rush in anything. Take your time to deliver what you want to deliver. If the purpose of communication is that whoever is receiving it understand it via the feedback you get, if you don't intend to give people understanding by what you say, if you don't intend to inform people or entertain them, don't open your mouth. Don't bother. It's very, very important that everything you do, you have to be deliberate and intentional about it. One of the things, or the hallmark of a good TV person, whoever this Uchechi Daniel is, somebody has got to do something about them. I don't think they are seems they're very ignorant on technology. Because it kills, so you see, when you have a flow, and that comes in communication, can somebody tell me what is going on here? What is it called? A mass comm student should be able to tell me. You can just indicate. Just indicate. I see Darlington Chinda. Okay, Darlington, what is it?
Morning, sir. It's called interference, sir.
Not really. Good morning to you, by the way. I see Minima Terminal Prayer. What is it?
Interruptions.
Not exactly. In communication, it has its term. Joseph, thing is flying up on the way. Joseph, Deborah.
It's called noise, sir.
It's called noise. That's what it's
Yes,
called. And noise is unwanted sound. And noise is psychological, it's technological. So for instance, Blessing was giving us noise technologically. Uchechi is giving us noise psychologically. Another form of noise can be if somebody is hot, that's also psychological or physiological noise. That's an aspect of communication. Don't be a noisy communicator. And part of being a noisy communicator could be the way you dress. You could dress and say, yeah, I'm free to wear what I just want to be free when I wear. No. You are communicating. You are the image of whatever it is representing, whatever it is you want to deliver. You are the spokesperson. You can't wear what you like. You can't dress what you like, the way you like. You can't have elaborate makeup. Imagine a dude wants to speak to you and he has, eyeliner somewhere, he wears eyelashes, his lips are painted. A guy, do you know half the time you'll be asking, sorry, I didn't get you. What did you say now? That's because you were distracted by the noise. By the noise. So that is just messing with my flow. But look, I'm determined to deliver to you guys. All right. So yeah, I hope somebody's actually tabulating all of this. Like I said, I'm speaking to you from the heart, from the things I have learned in almost 30 years of doing this business. Another aspect of being a proper TV personality is to have a desire to know. Desire to know. So there are times I'm preparing for my show and I'm sitting down, I'm doing my research, and I just see something about handball. I'll go to, what happened there? I'll read up on it. Even though I don't have handball on my schedule. Nah, but I read up on it. What happened? Oh, okay. Okay, oh, nice. Okay, fine. I come back to my work. If I see something on Formula One, okay, what happened there? I go there. There's a desire to want to know. And you must desire to know. As a TV personality, you must have an all-round knowledge of almost everything. Almost everything. All-round knowledge. You can touch on each and every. And I'm not saying you should know the whole thing, but I'm saying have an understanding, have a knowledge of it, a little knowledge of it. All right. If you want to help your enunciations, your pronunciations, read the dictionary. I'm in my 50s. I still read the dictionary. Unlike before now, I actually had a dictionary that I would open and just read through. You say, you read dictionaries? I say, yes. Why do I read it? I read it for I want to know how words are pronounced. So I'm very particular about the phonological, expressions of each word. So for instance, EPITHY, T-O-M-E. Somebody indicate and pronounce that for me. E-P-I-T-O-M-E. Nemeka.
That word is pronounced epitome.
Epitome. Okay. Okay, Onome wants to go. Onome.
Okay. Good morning. I think it's epitome.
That's actually the correct pronunciation. It's epitome, not epitome. So the epitome of it, some of us have been pronouncing it wrong for a very long time. All right, another one. P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M. P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M. Arizuru, Akuroma.
Okay, the word is pronounced paradigm.
Paradigm, correct. Paradigm. I had a colleague that said paradigm. I said, para what? Where did your para dig to? Say paradigm. I said, don't dig him anywhere, beg. All right? Don't be like that Igbo man. Ran into a boutique. He wanted to buy some outfits, and he says, the shopkeeper comes to him and says, welcome, sir. We're very happy to have you. He said, I'm even happier to be here. Yeah. See, one of my colleagues in my office was looking at a catalog. As he was looking at it, that was where I found your boutique. Your clothes are very, very good. So I'm here to do a lot of shopping. Unfortunately, I don't have cash. I just have check with. And the lady laughed and said, oh, no problem, sir. But in the true sense of it, sir, you don't say colleague with. You say colleague. You don't say boutique way. You say boutique. You don't say catalog way. You say catalog. Neither do you say check way. It is check. And the man said, okay. Don't let us argue. If you know, you know. Moving on. Read the dictionary. I'm sure there's nobody here who says argue. Nobody here says argue, eh? Can I get thumbs up? I don't trust you people in Port Harcourt. So that's another thing again. It's not Port Harcourt, but I will come to why you call it Port Harcourt. All right. So read the dictionary. Be intentional, but most importantly, I see the thumbs up. You can put it down. Most importantly, also be impressionable. Be impressionable. And what that means is when somebody meets you and they don't remember what you sound or look like, you have just said God does not exist. Somebody should meet you and like, okay, I remember that lady. There must be something that stands you out. Most times it could be physical, but I'm saying when you open your mouth to speak, be impressionable. Be very impressionable. Those are very important. Now, for some of us, our ethnic tongue comes in the way. But you can learn to pronounce appropriately. You can learn if you choose to retrain yourself and decide you want to pronounce words properly. Now, one of the errors I found out on our TV, radio, some 10, 15 years ago was how some people felt if you want to make an impact, have an accent. And then the bulk of our radio and TV stations had, well, you wouldn't say foreigners per se, but Nigerians who were born abroad, but now they're back. And, you know, every time they get on air, I just realized everybody wants to speak with either a British accent or an American accent. So when they're on air, say, what's your station again, Namika?
Go Uni Radio 106.9 FM. Former radio station.
Did you say go?
Yes. Yes, sir. Exactly. Yes, sir.
106.9 FM.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yo, people. Lovely to have you join us. You know, we're going to have a great time. Welcome to Go Unit Radio 106.9 FM, the radio station that brings you the best of music and all the great shenanigans going on. That's utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. The same thing I can do. Hello, people. Lovely to have you join us on this exciting day. My word, I woke up so excited and I'm feeling so fly at this point in time. People, if you can smell my perfume, you would want to love me right now. But it's good to have you on Go Unit Radio 106.9. People, we are flying high. So what do we have on the agenda this morning? Traffic. Woo. I'm happy I'm not you right now. That's much more. Did you feel any accents? There's no accent. Just speak English. That's all you need to do. Just speak English. And what helps you is if you read the dictionary and again, you can just, so I'm like this. My mom made me read novels a lot. Then I used to read a lot of Milton Boone way back then. And for every time I see a word that is a very big word, I will underline it. I go look in the dictionary. It's the same way I train my daughters. I said, no, underline the word. Go look for it, know the meaning. So it can fill what I call your vocabulary vault or vocabulary bank. All right? Martins Emmanuel. I'll give you another analogy on vocabulary bank. And you will see this most times with how people speak personally, person to person, and even when they're on air. So for instance, let's say there is, anybody know what this big drum is? You know, drum? That say, those plastic drums, they put water in, whatever it is. Who is this person? So Sammy, I think you should have 2 or 3 people as admins, including yourself, and whoever is creating the interference and all that, just mute the person. You understand? Because you can see it immediately, just mute the person. And if that thing is continuous, take the person out or block them off. You understand? This is all right. So if some of us decide to shut whatever we're doing to want to do this, we would not want this kind of, and you know, the kind of people you're bringing on here are not just some roadside personalities. It's a privilege to get some of the big guns you bring here to come speak to them. And it mustn't be taken for granted at all. It must not be taken for granted.
Okay, just 10 seconds, if you will. I'm sure you all heard what the lecturer said, and this is what I keep drumming for everybody. It's embarrassing that I have to say this in front of the lecturer. Very embarrassing. Bumi, can you hear me? Bumi, can you hear me? Hello, Bumi, can you hear me? Okay, Chimama, make me an admin.
Yes,
please.
sir, I can hear you.
Bumi, you know what to do. You know what to do, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't want any disruptions anymore, please. Thank you. Grebos, my apologies. Please go ahead, sir.
I was going to give an analogy of how you build your vocabulary bank. All right. So I was talking about, you know, this big drum. At times when you go to parties, that's where they put drinks and stuff in with ice. If you have that big drum and you fill it with water, if you're going to take a container to take water out of it, do you have to dip your head in to take the water? No, you just scoop it at the top. You scoop. If you continue scooping, what will happen? You start to dig yourself to go in deeper, If the water is at the lowest level, you literally have to, half of your body has to be immersed in that drum to get the water out. It's the way your vocabulary bank works. So when you hear people talk and they're going, you know, the way, what I'm saying is, and there's a lot of the vocabulary bank is it's running dry. And the way you can fill that up is by reading. When you read, when you interact, when you engage people, you hear, especially people who, it's nice to be around people who speak big grammar. And I'm not saying Obahagon grammar, not that one. I'm saying proper, simple grammar. When you be around people like that, it helps your vocabulary bank. It builds it up for you. You must always, if you'll never come to that point where you're like, One of the things, look at whoever you see as a radio or TV presenter that you like. One of the things you like about them is their flow. They have a flow about them. And that's what you need to build over time. Flow. Now, when you start up, are you saying you won't be nervous? Of course you'll be nervous. I was. I was a nervous wreck the first time I started. But the thing that helps the most is if you know. That's why I said you have to have a desire for knowledge. If you know what you're talking about, your delivery may be horrible, but guess what? This kind of job builds you over time where your delivery starts to get smoothed out and better. I used to be that person. I don't know if there's anybody here. Indicate if you are, where you have seen yourself speak either on TV or you heard yourself and you hated how you sounded. Do we have anybody here? I see a lot of people, even Nemeka too. Okay, only 4 of us are honest. Not okay, increasing. You heard yourself and you just hate, like you don't like to hear yourself. So for those who are on air already, you don't like to listen to your show that you've done. You just don't like it because you just don't like how you sound. I get that. Even when you send voice notes, you don't like to hear yourself again with the voice notes. I get it. I was there also. I hated to hear myself. I hated to watch myself. That was how crazy it was. Until one time, I just didn't bother. I just continued with my work. Until one time, I was on air. They were repeating my show, and I heard it. I'm like, whew, that guy sounds good. That was me. Because the truth was, I was sounding smoother, sounding way much better. My voice was way much conditioned. And that's what happens with consistency. All right? That's what you need to do. And also, let me give you guys a story before we now get into question and answer. One of the best, because I get praises all the time, you know, hey, man, you're good at what you do, oh, man, I love your work, all that stuff. Encomiums comes in on a constant, still happens today. In fact, at the passport office, the reason things were expedited was because they knew me, you know, so things went by very quickly. But till tomorrow, the best compliment I ever got was from a drunkard in Enugu. Anybody from Enugu here? Any Enugu person here? You can't be selected people. Ah, Nameka, you again? All right, was in Enugu. We went to cover a Nigerian league game. By the time we were done, some guys approached me and said, oh, please, we'd like to invite you to our club, you know, just come hang out with us and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, why not? So in my head, I'm thinking they'll be there by 11, you know, so I'll just go hang with them for about an hour and a half, and I'll come back. The beauty of it was that the club was like a walking distance from the hotel we stayed in. This dude did not come until 1 a.m. That was when I realized, wait a minute, now so that they do club. 1 a.m. I was sleeping already. Anyway, I went with them. And as we were about to enter the club itself, at the entrance, there was a guy coming out. He was reeking of alcohol. He looked up, saw me, and he goes, Mozez Praiz! Mozez Praiz! And I'm like, hey, so, hey, I know, hey, have fun. You know. He hails, he goes out, I go in, they take us to the VIP. Everything is fine and dandy. Not less than 10 minutes, this dude comes back, yelling my name again. Mozez Praiz! Hey, guy, now welcome to Enugu, and all of that. And you know, at this point in time, you know, of course, we've had a few people around now. With how loud the music was, this guy's voice was on top of music. That was how big his voice was. So everybody kind of like was hearing him. And this guy looks at me and says to me, nah, man. He said, nah, man. I didn't put that. That was not me. He said, nah, man. When you started, nah, you were very bad. Ah, you were very, very bad. Or more. Nobody had ever said that to me before. So you were very bad. But when you, in a very short space of time, and this was exactly what it is. You just took off. But you're good. No, you know, no, you're very good. And I'm very, very happy you are in my town. You know, at that point, you know, I stood up, shook his hands, you know, and all of that, and he left. But I say to you, this was probably 18 years ago. I say to you, that was the best compliment I ever had. Of course, you know, when somebody's drunk, they tell you the truth. Because it's not them speaking, it's the alcohol. You know, and for me, it's always a case where you must accept that there are days when you'll be bad at the beginning. But you see, the minute you take off, you become really good at what you do, at your delivery and everything. You can never have a bad show. You are not permitted to have a bad show. And I can say to you, I've never had a bad show. God knows how many years. Now, it doesn't mean at times when I feel I didn't deliver at the level I would love to have delivered, but every person else will say, oh man, I enjoyed that show. I finished the show and everybody was like, man, amazing show. But I felt I could have done much better. I could have put a few things in place. I felt I wasn't as prepared as I would, because you must be your own worst critic. You must critique yourself. You must critique yourself. And when somebody says that was horrible, don't fall into mental issues like a Gen Z. No. Want to know what was horrible? What do you think I could fix? Let them tell you. On that note, at this time T, moment M, point P, I would like to take a pause and get feedback. It's very weird when you're talking to pictures and you're the only one shaking. I'm the only one seeing myself. I'm just talking to pictures. So let's get feedback. You can just indicate, I will call you myself. So feedback could be, what did you hear me say? Feedback could be, what did you learn? Feedback could also be a question. All right? So we're starting first with Daniel Monday on a Monday morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for
Pause
this
there. Pause there.
very wonderful lecture. I'm not.
Pause there. When you
Can
came
you hear
on,
me?
I can hear you clearly, but I didn't like your morning, sir. No. Remember what I said? Enunciate. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Or good morning, Grey Boss. Remember, you must start the practice now. All right? Again, don't rush your word. You're not eating hot potato. All right? Enjoy the word in. I don't know if anybody here has tasted Fanta before. I know some of you don't like sugar, but taste Fanta. All right? There's a way it tastes in your mouth. You want to leave it in your mouth for a bit. You understand? There's some delicious food you put in your mouth. And you serenade it in your mouth. Let your words be like that. Don't rush them out. They are your words. Love them. Let them go out and be very excited. Yeah, my boss is sending me out to go deliver. Is that good, Daniel?
Yes, it is.
Let's do it again.
Okay. Good morning, sir, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for this beautiful lecture. I must say, I am a very big fan, and I want to ask a question. I have been on television a few times, and I always prefer the radio because I know there's nobody seeing me; they just hear my voice. But on the TV, when I look at the camera, I get nervous because I know there are a lot of people at home watching me. So I want to know how I could fight that.
All right, that's a very good question. Again, you don't ask question. Here we always ask question. We ask. I want to ask you a question. I can't ask me a question. Don't ask me a question. You ask. Ask. You ask a question. That's a good one. For radio, don't make the mistake that people do not see you, because even radio now is becoming like television. People are putting cameras in the radio because of social media and the like. So it's becoming almost audio visual. One of the compliments, and again, one of my favorite, best compliments I have gotten from somebody who listened to me on radio was, every time I listen to you, it feels like I'm watching you, because you're painting a picture. It feels like I'm seeing you, I'm watching, and that's exactly my intent. On radio, you paint a picture with your voice, with your tone. So hence why, don't just, even if you're having a conversation, the consciousness must be there that people are listening to you. So the way you deliver must be very, very deliberate. All right? For TV, understand, first and foremost, you are there to talk sports. Let's say sports. Nobody is going to ask you what the economic climate and the downturn of the Israel-Hamas war will have over the Chinese economy. Nobody's asking you that. They're asking you what you know, what you talk about. So it's the same way you put yourself out there on TV. It's the same way. But let me give you the trick of TV. The trick of TV. Can somebody help us with Esther? She has gone to the market. So I'm hearing all the Okada people. The trick of TV is this. When you feel good about yourself, your delivery will be great. Let me break it down. When I used to go on it till this moment, I'm very particular about how I smell. Hence why I've had babes on my case just because of how I smell. And I challenge anybody here, if I hug you, you will want to hug. Aside from the fact that I give the best hugs anyway, I don't care what your boyfriend does. Me, I give the best hugs. Ask anybody. Not like you can ask anybody anyway, you don't know who I've hugged. But most importantly, when you hug me, you will never catch me smelling bad. That's one. Two, TV is all about what people see. So people see you before they listen to you. I have had fans all across the world, I kid you not, who just hit me up because of how they see me. So the way I dress, the way I groom myself, the way I accessorize, all of this thing, it tells a whole lot. It tells a whole lot of story before you hear what I have to say. So first and foremost, I am 50% in your appreciation level with you. Your acceptance level, I'm 50%, 60% in already. All you need to do now is hear me speak. When you hear me speak, I'm 80% there, or 90%. In fact, most for some people, it's just 100%. It is those who are in the business of it that now want to hear what is the content of what he's saying. What is his delivery like? So they go further to critique me before they accept me. So I said all of this to say this, Daniel, that nerves should never be your issue. Don't bother about the cameras. You are there to talk like it was radio. Camera is just documenting it. So your attention should not be on the camera, rather it should be on your host, or if you are the host, on your guest, because you're looking to have a great show. And your attention should always be on, your knowledge must always carry you through. You understand? Like I said, when Sammy told me about this, I didn't go do no research. I speak to you, but to God who made me. I didn't do no research. I said, I'm going to speak to you guys from the heart. And I'm going to give you my experiences, because I think that will be much more impactful than me saying, okay, what are, hold on, let me check my notes. Tools from being a successful presenter. Number one, you must be passionate about the things you do. Bullshit. All right. I don't believe in that. I did all of that way back. I don't know my research. I'm saying you must come through here and deliver from the heart. So I'm telling you everything I have learned over the years and how it has molded me. So ignore the cameras. Attention is on your guest or the panel you are with. And of course, your knowledge of what you have flies you through. Next, Felix DK. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now that's another thing, guys. Don't ever mess anybody's name. When I used to go on air, or if I needed to host an event, once I see a name, I'm coming to come and ask you, please, how do you pronounce this? Even when I have guests with me, once I say the name, I say, how do you pronounce your name? Because it's very, very respectful, and you should never mispronounce people's name. Felix, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. The name actually is Felix DK.
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 Thank you for that.
So thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. This is really, really impactful today. I must say, I've really learned a lot. Like when you talk about enthusiasm, that was one of the things I picked out of what you said, and that's really one of the things too that really drew me to Sammy, Oga Sammy Wejan, the coordinator of this program. How he presents when he comes on air, the way he introduces himself, his take off, from there, before you know, the show will be going, will be flowing from there. That's really one thing I admire a lot about him when he presenting. So I always think sometime, and I will sit down and I will ask myself, if I'm able to get my first line, like coming up, like I want to interact with people, my first line, if I'm able to get it very well, that means from there, I'll be able to like flow very well. So each time I listen to him, I always like, how did he do it? How? Like the way we start the show, maybe we come up with something, maybe we tell something, we must come up with one thing, and from there, before you know, the show is going on. And you will enjoy every bit of what he's doing. That's the most reason why I said I must be part of this program. And from your own experience, listening to you right now, I'm really grateful, sir. And I must say I'm ready to learn.
Thank you, Felix. I appreciate that very much. And I agree with you. I think Sammy is one of them. So whenever I used to come to Port Harcourt way back then, once I get in, I have because people know already I'm in town. So all the journalists, the broadcasters, you're coming on my show, you're coming on my show, you're coming on my show. You understand? Sammy's show is the only show I never miss. Before I go to the others, I'm always on his show. And I thoroughly enjoy his delivery. I think it goes a long way. Like I said, you can't have one way of doing your presentation. You must be very, very spontaneous, and that's one of my strengths, spontaneity. No matter how bad things are, I always turn it around and make it work. But thanks for that feedback. I appreciate that. So you can put your hands down, Mr. D. Kai. Let's get some other people. I see Onome and Masoga. Go ahead, Onome.
Good morning, sir. And once again, thank you very, very much for this session. You're a sports presenter, and I'm thinking of going into television presenting in the future, but I don't know what niche I want to go into. So I want to ask, how did you know you wanted to go into sports presenting? And how do I know how to find my niche? Thank you.
Let me first and foremost thank you for how you delivered yourself. I could tell you learned already that, okay, I can't go in and be driving. Yeah, I want to know. I appreciate that. Secondly, you said ask. I appreciate that. Now, it could be something you say often, but I still appreciate it. So I always knew I didn't get into sports casting because I wanted to. I was a sportsman. In fact, I have a few people who are offended at me that I did not play football professionally. I was a full sportsman. I played football, played basketball, tennis. I was an athlete, 100 meter, 200 meter, high jump, long jump, discus, javelin, everything I did. And I did it with laurels. So it wasn't like, since they're doing it, I'm just doing it. No, I have laurels. I have certificates from the Polytechnic to show you of all of this. So even in secondary school also, I was when it comes to high jump, I was the highest, all right? And so sports had always been in my family. It was something that paid school fees for my mom, paid for my dad. All my brothers, siblings are all sports people. And when I say sports persons, not like they're doing sports now, but we were very much athletic, So I didn't know, and you will permit me to digress a bit on this one. I'll be very brief on this. I promise you, I will take all your questions or whatever it is. I promise you, I'm here for you guys. So I didn't know what I was going to do. When I was in secondary school, I was about to leave secondary school. They brought career guidance people to come speak to us. I felt they were more confused than we that didn't know what we needed to do anyway. So I just didn't bother myself. What was I going to study in the university? I don't know. So one of these days, I was staying with my grandma, and the iron was not working. She called me and said, "This iron only work." I said, "Okay, check it." So I opened it up at the back. I saw the cable, one of the cable had cut. So I put it together, sellotape the whole thing, sealed it up, plugged it. Iron was working. I said, electrical engineer, what are you talking about? I'm an electrical engineer. I said, that's what I'm going to do. And so I put in for electrical engineering. River State Polytechnic, Bori. I was accepted. I got a letter. When my WAEC result came out, I had F9 in physics. I had F9 in physics, and I want to do electrical engineering. Anyway, we say we'll find a way around it, so I'll do it in JAM. Which would, I don't know, there's another one you do, external WAEC or whatever nonsense. Anyway, but when we got to admission, went to Bori. I got admission from JAM, got to Bori, and my admission no day again. I said, at times from JAM, they don't sell my admission. So the secretary called us and said, what's it? No worry. Apply. Next year, I will help you. Put your name down. I said, okay, we did. And I left. An opportunity came for the Polytechnic. And people say, I didn't want to go to university. I wanted to, but I don't know. I didn't do any university exam. Polytechnic came through and I went to study mass communication. And that was it. I just realized, wait a minute. In fact, it was hard for me to tell people I was studying mass communication because in my time, I'm talking 1994, 94, yeah. In my time, if you're studying mass comm, you are considered a woman course without a woman course. I became so popular in school because I was more or less a spokesperson. I was hosting events of other departments. That was how good I was at that. Sports, I was in all sports, literally. Literally, I was the school captain, so all sports. So sports was something I had always been into. When I came out, again, I wasn't so sure how I was going to go, but I went into production. So I was an audio person. I studied cinematography. I was a cameraman. I did a few musical videos, shot some movies. But because I went to study cinematography at the Independent Television Practitioners Association of Nigeria, and the guy who came to train us was from Hollywood, as a matter of fact. Dude, man, filled my head up. So when I wanted to do some Nollywood movies, I said, give me a script. They said, no way, we'll tell you what to do. I said, I'm not doing that thing because I wanted to work professionally, so I handled cameras, I covered wedding, and I did money deal. Woo, made good money from that one. I edited things I did, and opportunity came. I managed a women's football team as a team manager. We did that, got promotion. It's pretty hard. Managing a women's club is always like pouring water in basket. And I did arguably the first reality TV show in Nigeria called Amstel Malta Box Office. This came way before any of this. And before Next Movie Star, I think almost the same time. And one of the guys who was the production person there, South Africa, was saying to me, we work together. Apparently, they were part of those that were going to set up Super Sport in Nigeria. So when it was about to happen, that was when they brought me in. I did not join Supersport as a presenter. I joined as a production coordinator. So I was more or less planning the flights, logistics of all the South Africans who were coming from South Africa. And wherever they needed to be in Nigeria. Wherever they needed to be in Nigeria, I was the one planning their movement until I told my boss, nah, sitting in the office is not my thing. I was growing fat. I wasn't doing much. So I said, okay, fine. So they moved me to a floor manager, so I was part of the production. And then they moved me to a presenter. How did I become a presenter? The presenter then, Felix Awu, who's my boss now, was moved to GM. So that space was there. We were in Jos. We had a production in Bauchi. And that night he was saying, so I was like congratulating him. And he said, Moses will just take up a presentation. I said, yeah, I like that. I'll just understudy you during 8 and 10 weeks to see how you do the thing. Said, no, you're presenting tomorrow. Sure. You think you were nervous there, Daniel? Imagine what me that had never presented on the biggest stage. He was saying you are presenting. Anyway, we went there. Now, remember, I know the game. All right? I know the game. I know the team. It was just, so Felix was my analyst. I told him I don't get clothes. The only t-shirt to see you present with it. So I was thrown in the deep end of the pool, and that was how it all started for me with sports. So I was always going to do sports. So your question on the matter is, how do I know what I need to do? It's in you. What do you find? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? If you wake me up to talk sports, I don't think I will be, no. I will talk it. Same way with Sammy. Same way with a few people who are here. There's something about you that if they don't pay you, you will do the job joyfully. Now, don't do anyone that won't pay you, Sean. Although, when you're starting, you won't collect pay. But there's a level you get to, you now determine your pay. But there's something about you, I mean. And if you don't, you need to find out what is that thing about you that comes naturally. Naturally. That's how you find what you need to do within the industry. But I would say, step out there, be on shows, be on different platforms, and as you progress, it will come to you one way or the other. Let me do Gift Kingsley very quickly.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Before I continue, I just want to say that I am really, it's such an honor. Because I watched you yesterday and I'm just really, really excited. So my question goes like this, sir. You said that you have to have an idea or like just background knowledge, everything. You have to have like an idea of everything.
Yes.
But then I'm not really a sports media and hindrance, like a hindrance coming up in the TV industry. Thank you.
I'm not sure I caught the question there, though.
Okay, good boss, if I may suggest, Gift, if you can hear me, I think the network from your end is not too strong. So what you do, go to the chat box exactly, and then just type your question. Tell Great Boss to see.
Yes, Gift, type it out, okay? Let's come to Darlington Chinda.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
It has been a great expository class indeed. I thank you for this great opportunity for us to learn from. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you before. You put some energy into it, huh? I think it's a network issue.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, this is better.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to appreciate you for this privilege, really. It has been an expository class this morning. I enjoyed every bit of it. I'm enjoying every question you're answering right now. But quickly, sir, I have two questions I want to throw at you. The first one is, have you ever encountered someone who you interviewed over the years of your experience, whom you just noticed is first evasive of the questions or facts you threw at them? How did you handle such person or such guest? The second question is, as a follow-up to your question to what you said earlier, that we should never mispronounce anyone's name. What would you say is the challenge of most foreign pundits or sports persons or media personnel who tend to mispronounce indigenous African names? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Darlington, for that. An astute broadcaster, sportscaster, media practitioner will make the effort to pronounce them correctly. I can tell you for nothing, there was a dude, we did a Copa Lagos, beach soccer. This guy, I was impressed. So what he did, he had the team list of the teams playing and everything. He will come and ask us, how do you pronounce this name? So he will write the name phonetically. So for instance, Nnaemeka. I can say Nnaemeka because I'm Nigerian. He's not Nigerian. If you say Nnaemeka, 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 he puts I-N, Nne, I-N-E-Y, Nnaemeka, I-N-E-Y, M-A-Y-K-K-A. That's not how you pronounce your name. But you see the way he's written it out phonetically, he will not get it wrong. He won't get it wrong. So I was quite impressed by that. Anybody who doesn't do that, they're lazy and they're not following the tenets of proper broadcasting principles. So if somebody chooses not to want to pronounce the name or pronounce it incorrectly, that's them. That's on them. You do the right thing. You pronounce the name correctly. So for instance, who I'm sure you guys follow. Some people follow. Wait, who asked me the question? That was he's throwing his hands down already. Come back to me. Darlington, where's Darlington? Where's Darlington? Speak to me.
Yes, sir.
There you are. Now, Darlington, you follow you follow Napoli, right? Napoli, where Osimhen plays.
Yes, I do. I do, sir.
Who is that other guy that plays with him that they said was the best player last season?
Barcelona guy.
Eh?
What? Don't enjoy your tongue, please. Thank you.
So you see, the thing there is, his name is hard, but you have to practice it. And that's what I did. You understand? Because it's not as it's written. There's how it's pronounced. At times I won't go take those things on Google and say, how do you pronounce these things? And Google tells me how. There's some, during the 2018 World Cup, no play, because I was talking just before the World Cup started, I was on my show and I needed to state all the cities and the name of the stadium. And you know how Russian names are? I had to go learn its pronunciations. That's my job. The guy's name is Kwicha Kwaraskelia. But if you go through and all that, the spelling is totally different. It's Kwicha Kwaraskelia. And that's how it's pronounced. That's how they pronounce it. All right? It's just like you can say Juventus, you can say Juventus. You know? But how they want to pronounce it is Juventus. You can say Barca, Barcelona, or Barca. But then they will say Barcelona. They don't say the C. The C there is a sound. You can choose to say Barcelona. You can say Sevilla instead of Sevilla. Sevilla actually sounds weird. You understand? So you can say, and you can say Valencia. That's the English version of it. But if you want to say it the Spanish way, it's Valencia. It's pronounced Valencia. All right? So you do your job, pronounce things correctly. What was your first question, by the way?
Okay, let me reiterate, sir. The first question I asked was, how did you handle a guest who was deliberately evasive of your questions?
And you will have that all the time, all right? You will have that all the time. But here's what I want you to understand. We had this meeting after the 2021 AFCON, and they got all the presenters, analysts, no, the presenters mostly, together for a debrief. Without people saying, oh, don't blow your horn, and saying, at the end, don't blow your trumpet, and saying, would you buy a trumpet and give somebody to blow it and pour their saliva into it? It's okay, blow your trumpet at times. I did the finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. First time a non-South African would do the finals of a major tournament on the continent. They never allowed it. In fact, it turned out to be such a problem that the dude, I think he got sacked. Well, not sacked per se, but demoted. And I don't blame them. At the end of the day, it's their platform. You know, but let's leave that aside. That's not important. Erase what you just said. So the dude said, you know what? He kind of said, you turned out to be the main guy ultimately. And there were questions being asked because there were a bunch of young presenters who were there who were saying, look, they had a conversation with the coach. The coach shared some in-depth stuff with them. And when they went on air to talk, they brought it up. But the coach evaded and said, no, he doesn't know anything about that. And that threw them off thinking, wait a minute, just a few minutes ago, you told me, this and this and that. Coach denied it. And that messed up the relationship. It was hard to get. The coach was very, very peripheral on everything. And I said, what would you have done? I said, well, you must understand, first and foremost, you're in the business here of building relationships, of having these people trust you with information they won't tell anybody. National team coaches, club coaches, administrators tell me stuff. I can't go on air and say it. But I can bring up a question about it in a way that they can dance around it because I need that relationship. You understand? They're not telling it to me. They're not telling it to me for me to go quote them. But I can go ahead and say some things about it at the end of the day. That gives me credibility, gives my broadcast organization credibility. So yes, there are sometimes they dance around your questions and you say, well, this is what I'm actually trying to address. At times you can bring out the juice of your question. Don't be confrontational. Don't be. How many of you know this Arise guy? What's his name? I don't remember his name. But the dude is very, very confrontational, and stuff. And it's a style of presentation, but I don't buy into that style. Ultimately, I want to win you over, and I know how I can. The skill comes with time also and experience. And you can dance around with this person, and before you know, you can make them spill what they need. They don't want to spill. I've done it before with a former Minister of Sports who was holding a lot of things at an event, and I was just questioning him. And he was like, Moses, you're going to make me say things I don't want to say. And okay, you know what? It's fine. My producer, who was in my ears from South Africa, was like, hey, Moses, good job, man. You're getting the juice out of this man. And that's it. But you have to win them. You have to win them. All right? That's how it works. You want to build that relationship. You want to keep that relationship. And they will tell you things that they won't tell the general media. And then some things you will say, can I go talk about this? Is it okay with you? And if they trust you to manage it, they say, go ahead, go talk about it. Just don't quote them. So yeah, you can evade it and all that stuff. It's fine. It's not a problem. If I want to ask you, I have to find another way to ask the question. And again, that comes with skill. Excellent question, Darlington. Thank you for that. All right, Nemeka, I know your hand is spinning you. You've been raising it for long. Same as some people here. So it's fine. Go ahead.
Good morning once again, Mr. Mozez Praiz, and standing on existing protocol. Let me say thank you very much for your time with us this morning. I've enjoyed listening to you. I've learned a lot. I've learned to be enthusiastic, to be passionate, to be deliberate in my communication, and also to be impressionable. Before I continue, I want to ensure that there is no noise from my end.
We're happy with you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So my question will come like this. You've been a presenter for long, and staying on the point of being impressionable, I want to ask in this light, there are certain etiquettes that make up the code of conduct for presenters, or even general media. And I also would like to be impressionable. So what would you advise is the thin line, or a line rather, between being myself and sticking to various etiquettes, or not violate, so I don't violate the code of conduct in my presentation? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nemeka. Being impressionable is being that person who, when people walk away from you, they remember you. They remember you. So for instance, there's a style of my. Has anybody here, just with a thumbs up, have you ever seen me present the AFCON? Okay. What would be, if you had, what would be something unique you haven't seen before the presenter do? What would be that thing you would say you've seen me do on air? Anybody? Okay, let's leave that. For want of time.
Am I allowed to answer, sir?
Okay, fine, go ahead.
The yellow card, the red card.
That was never before done. Where did I get it from? I don't know. Divine inspiration. You understand? If I ask a question, you give a buzzer, I give you a yellow card. So all the guys, I'm talking Owen Hargreaves, JJ, Asamoah Gyan, everybody was wary of my card. You get that? Because once before the game kicks off, before we get into the first half, I ask for predictions. If you give me a wrong prediction, you get a card. You know, and that became so much fun. It was shocking. Nobody's ever said that before. But the question is it part of the game? It is part of the game. And I mean the football game, the card thingy. It is part of the game. Then in an English setup, you see me speak pidgin in the midst of it. Hence, when I said Yala, anybody can be beaten on any given day on air, international TV, it broke everywhere. Now, people in South Africa did not understand what I said. But they realized, wait a minute, we're trending, we're viral. What's going on? What did this guy say that is so viral? Of course, I had a few people who stood out and say, how dare he say such a thing? Oh, he's going to lose his job. There was nothing that was not said. But ultimately, that was not the case. It became something now that everybody says. But you see, I said it because, again, it's Mozez Praiz, and I know how to carry my audience. So you must have that thing about you. For instance, whenever I'm signing off, I have a peculiar sign-off line that people now know. If I'm doing the Nigerian League, you hear me say, Asadeole Ziana, this now again. And that's true. Even when they were cutting promos for the league, then this now again became the tagline. Now, if you hear me either radio or TV, my sign-out, it will be, what's the name of my sign-out said? I don't forget. I didn't forget. My sign-out now will be, as always, people, don't crack under pressure. Now, I was getting so, I don't work out. You get it? But guess what? I can't say I don't work out in East Africa because I did it once in 2010 when we went to cover the Sekafa tournament. The Sekafa tournament is like the WAFU in this region. For West Africa is WAFU, East Africa is Sekafa, South Africa is Kosafa. And I said, I don't work out. And the guy said, you can't say that. And I said, well, so well, in our side, I don't work out means I'm gonna get drunk. I'm like, what? So I couldn't say that there. But I'm saying that becomes my identity. That becomes my tagline. That becomes what you know me for. So you must have those. Those are the ways you can make an impression on people. I hope that helps, America.
Very helpful, sir. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Paul West.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
What's good,
My
man?
name is Paul West.
Yeah, we see that.
Sir, my question goes like this. What I want to ask is, if, for instance, you have maybe you lost a loved one or your wife, for instance, not you. I'm just saying for a presenter or a sport broadcaster, and you're about to go on the show and you are being notified with such a sad instance, how do you or how are you able to cope with such emotional instances, adding it with you're about to go on air, you're about to present a show? How are you able to cope with that? Thank you, sir.
Paul, that's a good question because it has happened to me before. It was he's a family friend. He's my big brother. He taught me how to drive, taught me a lot of things, and he died. I was sick for a bit, and we're hoping he was going to recover, but that didn't happen. He died. Apparently, the sickness had gotten really bad. I think it was cancer or so. the day we buried him, I was on air that day. We went, buried him. I came to the office, playing music, dancing, and just very grateful for life. As I was about to go on air, I whispered to my head of production, I lost my brother. I said, calm down. I'm just telling you FYI. I don't need you to make any noise about it. I went on air, delivered on the show, came back out. You must recognize, ultimately, life goes on. I was talking to somebody today who was lamenting about all the situations, and I said, look here, man, each day above ground is a blessing. It's a blessing. You can grieve all you want to grieve. You can hide yourself, lock yourself up. A loved one is a loved one, all right? But if you shut your life down, you are dishonoring that person that passed away, because they don't need you to shut your life down. Death is part of life. That's what people don't understand. Nobody's going to be here forever. We don't know when our expiry date is. I can be done here, and the next thing, tomorrow you hear there's no more Mozez Praiz. And you can say, God forbid, you are not the determinant. It's not you. All right? It's when your time is up, your time is up. And he was, and he was with us yesterday. It doesn't mean he can't go. Okay? You must change your perspective of death. As always a fearful thing. No, that's the only passage to life, to your real life. This place is an experiment. This place is a test. Because when you die, this stays here. Who you really are goes back to where you came from. So, hence why I say to people, don't put too much attention on this. Wasting your time. Your spirit is what you should build. That's who you really are. Build your spirit. Live from your spirit. Feed your spirit. It's going to go back. And when it goes back, it has determined where you will end eternally. So, no matter what happens, no matter who you lose, whatever and all that, do what you need to do. Especially, it's different if I didn't need to be on air. I get that. All right? But I'm not going to shut my life down and say, oh, that's the end of it. Oh, no, go back, go do what I need to do, come back, stay, manage whatever I need to manage. Life goes on. Life goes on. It's just a proverb to you. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. Does that help? Who was that? Paul West. You okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Sorry, I'm not a very sentimental person. When I say that, doesn't mean I don't have emotions, I don't have feelings. I just don't dwell on them. You must never act from how you feel. Only a foolish person does that. If you act from how you feel, your feelings are like the British weather. It can change anytime. I can guarantee you now, this is almost 12 hours of, because from when you woke up, let's say, you've been awake for about, 7 hours? Let's just 7 hours. In that 7 hours, you felt cold, hot, hungry, some people horny. You felt all sorts at different points in time. You felt thirsty, like I'm thirsty now, and I'll quench the thirst and move on. So your feelings are like a rolling ball. It keeps rolling. You can't make a decision on anything that is rolling. It will fall off. It will fall off. So you never make a decision on your emotions. You don't. All right? So no matter how you feel about something, pause. Somebody sends you a message. I'm telling you, this is what happens to me all the time. If I get a message that I feel offended at, you know what I do? I respond to the person and say, this is how I heard your message. Is this what you meant? Now, I'm not acting on my feeling. Because if I'm to act on my feeling, for instance, somebody say, Emeka, you are stupid. What's your response? You too, you are stupid. Only a foolish man does that. If somebody says, James, you are a fool, say to the person, wow, why did you say that? You know you will throw the person off because that's not what is expected. That's not what you need them to say. That's not what they need you to say. And no man is as powerful as one who can rein his emotion and never act from them. Why did you say I'm foolish? Ah, you are a fool. That's you are a free fool. I understand. You know, at times I may be a fool. I just didn't know. But tell me why you said it. Maybe I can help myself and not be a fool anymore. You have messed that person up. If the person keeps saying, you are a fool, somebody that will come and shout on you, shut up there. Somebody will come and fight your battle. That's how it works. I've seen this many times. So never react. No, let's take a pause. Listen. Because at times, the person may be right. You are a fool. Because you made some actions, you took some decisions. So all you need to do is calibrate. Don't be a fool anymore. Don't mind me. There's just so much to put on you guys. Let's go to, I hope I answered the question there. Miracle Okorie. It's definitely pinning you. I saw it. Miracle.
Yes,
no,
sir, I can hear you.
Jesus.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good morning. We're still in morning. You just lied. Don't lie to us.
Okay, I'm very, very sorry. Very, very sorry. I want to really thank you for the experience you've shared so far. And I'm very, very grateful. My question is, what do you say to someone who is a stutterer or who stutters and he wants to venture into the broadcast industry? That's the first question. And then the second one is, when a presenter develops a cold feet, what would the person do? Thank you.
The question is, what made you develop a cold feet?
I don't know, but maybe something happened and then you were not able to meet up to the show. Maybe you on your way coming, we had by traffic or something, and then you're not able to meet up for the show. What do you do? Do you call to say give the report of the issue you're having, or you just remain silent?
All right, let me help you out on that particular. I'll start with the second one. As a presenter, if your show is at 7 p.m., be in the studio at 2 p.m. So what would I not be doing? No. My show, so tomorrow I have two shows. I'm both on TV and radio. Super Pix will shoot Super Pix Tuesday mornings. It's edited, it's sent to South Africa, it's edited there, brought back, and it's aired on Thursday. So the show, we shoot at about, say, at times 11 a.m. Something that we should be shooting by 9 but you may have to coil your hair, movement, makeup, forever, all of that, takes a while. So, but we don't start anything less than 10:30, 11. I'm in the studio at 5:30, 6 a.m. I'm there, I'm seated, I'm calm. I'm thinking about what are the things we need to talk about. What research do I need to make? If I'm not doing any of that, I just sit there calm. I can even watch a movie if I want to. But just go on YouTube. I just go on the internet and say, what's new? I'm always doing that anyway. What is new? What's going on? Remember I said knowledge. I must always look for information. That's what I do. But I'm there. I'm there. The show, we finish shooting at about 2 o'clock. I leave at about 2, 3, off to the island to do my radio show. I'm at the studio there at about 3:30. I get into the radio station. My show is at 7 p.m. During lockdown, that it was hard for anybody to go out, whatever. I leave home 4:30. I'm at the radio station about 5:30 a.m. in the morning. The show is at 7 p.m. No, the show is at 8 p.m. My guys have to ask me, because my guys don't come around 5, 6. So don't you lose energy? I say, of course, you will lose energy, but you see the minute I step in, my energy is right there again. I never lose it. What am I saying? As a presenter, you must never be late for anything. And I'm not saying it as a presenter, I'm saying it as a human being, especially as a guy. Be known for that person who comes in on time. So everybody knows me. So if people don't see me at 5, they start to freak out because they know that is not Mozez Praiz. They start calling me, where are you? What's going on? What's wrong? Everything. You understand? So you can't have cold feet. Again, remember, you want to be impressionable. So there's a first impression people will have about you, then there is the impression they will have over time about you. And one is, no, don't mess with Nika. She's here on time. You understand? Lady delivers on her job. No, don't even try Olu or Zuye. The guy, this is who he is. Guy is always, he's never, you can't catch him on fresh, like they said to me. Can never be caught on fresh. You must be known for that. Again, as a lady, please don't have your hair sticking out. It's rough. It needs to, you know that it's due. Or the hair smells. Ooh. Ladies, most importantly, smell should never be your thing because you're soft, you're sweet. You should never smell. Rather, you must be, the aroma coming out of you must be very endearing. All right, so that's what you do. As regards stuttering, that it's a walk, you can walk on it. And because I feel people who stutter speak, their mind is faster, or rather, their mind is faster, so their tongue is trying to catch up to it. The way I can say, I used to speak very fast, and I know there are probably a few people here who speak very fast. The way you can deal with that is pace yourself. Don't rush. Take your time to say what you want to say. Just the same way I'm talking to you guys. I'm not rushing anything. That's why I ask, how long do I have? If you say, do I have time? I have time for you. You understand? My Monday is for you. The only time I'm not available is, I actually have some people doing some work for me, but I'm willing to give you, at least I'm available till 2, 3. For you people. That doesn't mean I'll keep it till 2, 3. For some of you say, wait a minute. Now every day, today we'll learn everything. No. But I'm available till 2, 3. So what I'm saying in essence is, pace yourself. Don't rush yourself. Your mind will be going fast. Slow it down. And say what you want to say deliberately. Be very conscious about it. Just the same way you hear me talk. First and foremost, the way you guys have been feeding back to me, I feel you are already putting the lessons in play. And I like that. I love that very much. That consciousness is there. And I thank you for that. I hope that helps out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Miracle. All right. Let's talk to James. Chukwu. Hamas, are you there? James Chukwuma.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
So far, you have been great. My question is, how long have you been into the media space, and what could you say is the most challenging for you so far? Thank you.
So I've been here almost 28 years. No, about 28 years, almost going to 30. You may not believe what I'm about to say, but this is the truth. I don't see anything as a challenge. Now, that doesn't mean there are no challenges, but I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as a process, what I need to go through. Because the things people are about first is, how I'm going to make money. When I came into the industry, it was never about money. I'm telling you the honest truth. It was never about money. I wanted to be decent at what I do. So every time I do a show, the next show must be better than this show I did. So it was always about being better than what I did, being better than what I did. And I didn't even know because I'll give you an example. There was a time in secondary school, I was not the fastest guy in secondary school. In fact, I didn't run for secondary school. But once I get home, anytime they send me on an errand, I don't walk, I jog. In fact, I won. I timed myself. I didn't have a wristwatch. I'll time myself. I liked people who used to jog and they put towel on their neck and I watch on TV. So I found the towel and put it on my neck. So when they send me out on an errand, I'll get to the road. I'll go on your marks. Well, I didn't say on your marks. It's anti your mark. Anti your mark. Said, go, take off. And I was doing that consistently, just for the fun of it. Until one day in school, I'm arguing with this my guy. I don't pass you. Let's run. So of us now got on the road. As we're about to go, the fastest guy in school joins us. Say well, me, I know I'll come second. And that was on your marks. Sorry, anti your mark. Set. Ho. Now, I wasn't, remember who I'm challenging. His name is Afiz. That's who I'm challenging to show that I'm faster than you. Not Banjoko, who's the fastest guy in school. And as we're almost getting to the end, guys are hailing me. Yeah, Mozez. I'm like, Aziz, who is Aziz? I did not see Banjoko. In my head, Banjoko don't finish the race, don't go back. I actually beat both of them. Banjoko says it's not possible. We have to run again. He said we have to run again. What I'm saying in essence is, I didn't even know that I had that him as a challenge. Afiz was my problem, and I needed to show Afiz I was faster than him. In showing him, I dusted the fastest guy. We did the rerun again, and I beat him again. So where I'm going with this is, one of the power of achieving anything, you see whatever building any one of you is in at the moment, if you take one hammer, and I'm talking just a simple hammer, you can bring down that building. I don't care how massive it is. What you need is consistency, because every time you hit the hammer, you weaken it from within, even though you don't see anything outside. You weaken it from within. So you must be consistent. Who was that? That was James, right? Was it consistent at building yourself? At building yourself. Remember, you want to be better than what you were doing. So when the challenge comes, the issue is not the challenge, the issue is you. The issue is yourself. I need to be better at this delivery. You must have people you look up to. Watch the way they present. If you have access to them, reach out to them. Reach out to them and ask them questions. People are quick to reach out and say, mentor me. No. Just be asking questions. At times, tell them you want them to critique your work and send your work. Please just critique whenever you have time. Remember, they're busy at what they do too. So I never, that's my way in life. I don't see anything as a challenge. I see it as a process for me to get to the next level. It's a process. I hope that helps, James. I'm trying to change your view as to what challenges are. Challenges is to prove to you, do you mean it? Do you really mean it? Do you understand? If you're in school, you get exams, it's a challenge. It's to prove you mean that. Say you won't pass this course, you mean that. So they're there for you to prove to yourself that, no, of course, I meant this. I'm committed to this. Okay? All right. Arizu Akoroma.
That's me, sir. Good morning. It's Arizuru Akoroma.
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 Akoroma. Thank you for that. Arizuru Akoroma.
All right. So I have a question. And about the fact that I'm really interested in working in TV and understanding what it feels like, what it actually feels like compared to what we see on the screen. So can you tell us a bit about your first experience hosting on TV? Were there any things that shocked you, or was it different from what you expected while preparing for the show?
I think you answered my question in a way. Preparing. Just prepare yourself. My first live show was the 2009 Under 17 World Cup. I had never done a live show before then. Live studio show. I have done live on pitch. So pitch side was not a problem for me. And the guys who were in the studio as the producer, as the director, was a bit worried, because you had Charles there also, but Charles wouldn't do all the games, so they needed somebody else. And I, of course, I was the first Supersport presenter, first Supersport staff, more or less. I was part of the pioneering staff. Charles came way later. So they said, no, you got to bring Moses in. It's under 17 anyway. It's not a major thing like that. But they found out, wait, it's a World Cup, so it is major. And I got in there. This was the first, or one of the issues that happened, I think it was like in my third production, or second. While I was seated, I don't know what happened, but it threw me on air, and I was live on air, just looking around. So I looked at the monitor and realized I was live on air. And the director just freaked out. I was like, you're live, say something, you're live. Of course, remember I'm there. So I'm like, oh, the beauty of technology. It just has you surprised once in a while. But it is what it is anyway. We're still here talking the FIFA Under-17 World Cup 2009. Now ask yourself the question, is it one for Nigeria to lift a game on home soil? I mean, they've done it, and I just went like that. And then continued to the guests, and we went back to. So by the time we went on a break, the producer comes in, and it's like, oh, I should be careful and everything. I was mad. And I just let it out. And we were blasting ourselves across. While I was on air, we were not on air. Blasting ourselves, pissed off. Like, you just can't throw me on air. I was wrong. I mean, nobody prepared on anything. You just throw me on air. Oh. He said, yeah, but I said, no, that's bullshit. So we went back and forth like that. And it was like, calm down. It was like, calm down. And I hear the countdown. Moses, we're going live now. Calm down. 5, 4, 3, 2, results at 1. Welcome back. It's still the live studios here in Lagos for the FIFA Under-17. Keep it going. Whatever you were feeling, don't put it one side. You have a production. You owe a responsibility to your viewers, to your listeners, your personal issues. Keep them one side. That's it. And it has happened once, not twice. I had an altercation with my producer or director. And you go on the air, all smiles, everything's fine. Why? Because you who's watching me does not give a shit what I'm going through. What matters to you is that I deliver the goods to you. So therein lies the situation. I think aside that, there was nothing like that. Again, remember, it's knowledge. Just know what you want to say. Delivery will always come later. You may not be great at your delivery and stuff. Don't beat yourself up too much about it. Give yourself time. And maybe one day, many years after, a drunkard will come to you and say, where is she again? Who spoke to me? She has vanished. Where is she?
Hey, sir, I called.
There you are. There you are. And then when you started, you were very bad. You were very, very bad. Sometimes you just with the time. And then you just improve. And then you have your own drunkard, like I have now. So don't be too worried. Don't beat yourself up about your first time. Your first time will always be your first time. Just deliver. Know what you want to talk about. That's all you need to do. Once you know what you're talking about, you're good to go. But don't be on set and be waiting to be asked the question. Be involved. That's how one person lost the Super Big's job. They flew us all to South Africa. And it was an audition. And one of the analysts had to be bringing her into the conversation. Like for instance, and he gives his analysis, and I don't know what so person thinks about this and all that. Because she just sat there. Say, I'm waiting for them to ask the question. No. Be involved. Be involved. Now, that doesn't mean you should be a nuisance. You can interject. Let me jump in there very quickly. I kind of like your train of thought in that angle, but I may disagree a bit because this is how I see it. Blah, blah, blah. Drop it, get out. Again, remember, the principle is KISS. KISS. Keep it short and simple. All right? If you talk for too long, you bore people. Short and simple. Kiss. Minima, terminal prayer. I want you to kiss me.
Good afternoon.
Don't kiss me, don't kiss me. Don't kiss me again. Don't kiss me again. I thought it was a lady.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Minima Tamonopri from the Garden City of Port Harcourt. I must say it's awesome talking to legendary icon once again. My question is this: how do I have a niche for myself when it comes to my enunciations and articulations? Secondly, how do I maintain the momentum when it comes to my pacing? Thank you.
Sorry,
taking into account.
I missed the second one.
Okay, my second question is, how do I maintain momentum when it comes to my pace, taking into account keeping it short, sweet, and simple?
Okay, how do you maintain your pace? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think it's simple, and I think it's part of what I've explained already. Keeping it short and simple is, of course, knowing what you need to talk about, articulating yourself. That's very important. Articulate yourself. Talking for long is not the power. The power is a short spot, and you can drop it. You can drop it. You know how small a grenade is? As small as it is, can literally drop a whole building. All right? So don't. It's not talking for long. Pace. If you follow how I have been talking, that's me pacing myself. That's me pacing myself. You understand? I know the things I need to put out there. I do not need to rush my words. I'm literally dragging the things I'm saying. I'm not slurring, but I'm basically enjoying the words in my mouth as I deliver them. You know, so that's very important. It's very, very important for you to take your time. Don't rush anything. If you're rushing, nobody here wants to eat food and no, nobody does that. You take your time. Because you do that, you hurt yourself. The same way, if you rush your words, you hurt yourself. You hurt your listeners. You're not interested. You don't want to do that, all right? So pacing yourself is deliberately delivering the things you want to deliver. You enunciate in some places. You put your tenses and you stress your words and your sentences. Your stress, you put them in the right place. You know. So, for instance, I want to read something out to you now. Let me just look for a document. Okay. Casero to leave Super Eagles. Okay. Let me just get this right up. And I want to read it, tell me what the difference is. Open now. Man, that's what I'm changing. Africa Cup of Nations. Which one should I read? Okay. All right. I'm just going to read a line here. Now, this is the first way I'm reading it. On 6 July 2023, the Confederation of African Football CAF revealed the qualification draw for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations at the Mohammed V Football Academy in Salé, Morocco. That's one way to read it. Here's how the Grey Boss will read it. On 6th of July 2023, the Confederation of African Football CAF revealed the qualification draw for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations at the Mohammed VI Football Academy in Salé, Morocco. The first one was flat. I just read through the whole thing. But the second one, I was enunciated. You could literally see me dancing through the words and enjoying it with a bit of pacing. And of course, you see me stressing some words. So for instance, my people on Super Picks, they I don't know, for some weird reason, they say, oh, I say Nigeria. There's a way they say it anyway, they exaggerate it. But that's the way Nigeria is pronounced. It's not Nigeria, it's Nigeria. It's not a G, it's a J. Nigeria, all right? But the way I say it, they just love it. I have a South African lady who says, I just love the way you say Nigeria. Say it again. I said, give me money. So now I collect money from my hand for me to say Nigeria. You must make money. You get it? So you must learn how to marinate your words. Okay? On 6th of July, 2023, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, revealed the qualification draw for the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations at the Mohammed V Football Academy in Saleh, Morocco. That's another thing again, you gotta learn how to rest and drop it. When you must follow your punctuation marks. Very important when you read. Drop it. Okay? Those are very, very, very important. So learning how to read is so important. I would hope that at some other time, we will have another conversation where we will do some reading, and then I can put you guys through, some things how to read. Because I know we spent a good time now. Let's take, I don't know if that helped. Who was that? Was it Minima that asked the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Don't give up on me, guys. I'm almost done. I will soon leave you. Don't give up on me yet. All right, Emeka, let's sort you out quickly before we take a blessing.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
I must say thank you for this particular session. I personally am actually inspired, sir. Thank you. I want to refer back to the Enugu experience. My first experience being live on radio was terribly bad, sir. Seriously, I actually felt like giving up that day. But I thank God with time I started putting myself together. So I want to ask a specific question, sir. How did you get from being a bad presenter to a very professional presenter that we all are looking up to you currently? As in, how did you put up? What was the process, the journey like, the process you took to evolve and develop yourself this way? And then secondly, I actually get surprised because, for example, let's say Mohamed Salah scores a goal, and the commentator is telling you he has scored 14 goals, he's giving you accurate information about Mohamed Salah. So I'm just wondering, is it that they already have the information at hand, just waiting for him to score the goal so that they can say it? So I don't know if you can also help me because I'm actually being inquisitive. I want to know how they get that information. And then lastly, I'm taking it. And lastly, the first time I was on air with my boss, our father, Sammy Media, he can be intimidating at some point. The way he approaches you, he asks you some things. I was on asking, but I felt intimidated that day. I lose words. I didn't know what to say again. So when you meet such people, how do you compose yourself to make sure you still stay within your line? Thank you, sir.
All right. Who intimidates you?
Our father, Sammy Wejia.
Thank you for reporting me to my Oga. Thank you. I'll deal with you after now.
You cannot deal with him, because if you deal with him, I will deal with you.
No.
Don't deal with
It's
me,
a
sir.
training for radio and TV. Okay.
Precious, if you're off your mic, I'm telling what you need to tell him. All right, so let me start first from when you have someone who oversees you and you feel like, oh man, they're hard on you, and all that stuff. You totally miss the point, because here's what you don't understand. So I like analogies a lot. I feel it gives better understanding. Is anybody here in this meeting who is naked right now? Let me ask the question again. Is everybody on this group here wearing clothes? You can signify with a thumbs up. Wearing clothes right now. I just wanted to make sure nobody was naked, which is good. Now, I asked that to say this. If your clothes could speak, and tell you what he went through for it to be made for you to wear, he will be crying. Because there were moments when you put it under that sewing machine and you are sewing it in, and the needle is going and nailing it together. And then you now bring iron, hot iron, put it on it, just to bring out this cloth. You will never amount to anything without pressure. In all these things I'm saying, please capture these few words that comes out. They're not planned. But you will never amount to anything without pressure. Pressure brings out your potential. Pressure is what refines who you are. How many of you know if you take a rubber band and you put a 1,000 naira bill, so that's 100,000, inside the rubber band? The rubber band, if it's the first, if it's new, it will hold it. And you say, well, that's all the rubber band can hold. Not true. If you apply pressure on the rubber band by pulling it, another 100,000 can enter. If you apply pressure, another 100,000 can enter. If you apply pressure, another 1,000. So at the end of the day, you are looking at the rubber band that you thought could hold only 100,000, holding a million. What that means is, if you apply pressure, you get value. You get more value. Appropriate pressure, more value. So you that had capacity for 100,000 now has capacity for 200,000. You now have capacity for 300,000. You know, that's what it is. So those pressure you are going through, Emeka, is what will make you at this point in time say, oh, so we need somebody to come and present. Oh, we have Emeka, okay, let's see you. So it's not good. Anyway, let's start you with 10,000. But you see, the better you get, that guy is getting good. Before somebody take it quickly, increase his money to 50,000. That guy is really good. I beg, give him 100,000. You get to a point where you say, I want to leave. No, okay, fine, we'll give you 200,000. I want 500,000. Okay, let's talk. And you go back and forth, okay, fine. We'll pay you 450,000. That's what it is. Pressure gives you value. You will never amount to anything without pressure. Pressure is good. Don't run away from pressure. What you call bullying is good at times. It gives you strength. Don't run away from it. Okay? I'm only starting from the last one. Give me the second one and the first one again. Are we still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I thought we lost. What's your first and second question? I answered the third.
Okay, I was saying from the compliment you received at Enugu, from being a bad presenter when you started to being one of the best right now. What was your road, your process of development?
Consistency. Unlike you, that you said that first time you almost wanted to give up. I didn't give up. I stayed. Consistency. I learned. I was watching other people, how they presented. Before now, okay, let me quickly put this. I was going to use that the last one and I forget. So let me quickly say it. As a presenter, you must not be a presenter. I know I just confused you right now. As a presenter, you must not be a presenter. How many of you are saying that? Of course, I'm sure everybody here knows who Mama G is. Or Patience Ozokwo. People believe she is a real wicked mother-in-law because of the role she does as an actor. That's not who she is. But she has put it out so much that we believe it. That's a good actor. As an actor, you must not be acting. As an actor, we must not see Patience Ozokwo. We must see the embodiment of that wicked mother-in-law. It's the same thing as a presenter. Don't go there and say, yes, and today, Barcelona will face Real Madrid in their Clasico, and we all know it's going to be a great game. The El Clasico is one of the most important game in the calendar of La Liga. And we all know that nobody wants to listen to that rubbish. You're presenting. Don't present. Go out there and give us your flair. Just enjoy the fact that you were there and you have people you're sharing this, your knowledge with. Just enjoy it. We all have been waiting for the El Clasico. Again, remember, it's the delivery and how you can modulate your voice. And just enjoy that delivery. If you've seen movies where somebody's in a hospital and they have this small monitor that is beeping, boop, 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 boop. Emeka, are you there? Why does it take this man a long time to come back? Emeka, are we here?
Yes, I'm here, sir. I'm sorry, network is bad. I'm here, sir.
Okay. Do you know what I'm describing? Have you seen it before in the movie?
Yes, sir, I have.
When you now see the thing go, what does it mean? You don't understand it. That means you don't understand it. Let me find who can understand it. I think Neka can understand it. Neka, come through. Neka or Swagu. Are you there? Neka is not there. Okay, Nemeka, come through.
Okay, that sound probably means that the person is dead.
The person is dead. That means it's flat. That was what I did the first time I read. It was dead. You are delivering deadness. No. Your modulation is what makes it alive. That means you're alive. All right? So consistency was what kept me here till now. And I have managed to evolve. So that means I didn't die with my generation in the industry. I evolved. That's why I'm still relevant. I'm still relevant. And I know I will not be on screen for a very long time, hence why I'm moving into consultation, even while I'm on air. You understand? This will be what I will basically be doing, where I pass on knowledge, and I want to do it physically. You get it? Everybody is basically, like in the different places now virtually. And we should have a time where we all gather together in person and we do this. All right? So consistency. Emeka Okwara, keep the consistency up. You know why you're there. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep learning. That's what makes you better. Did you have any other question? I think you have a second question. I don't know what that was.
Yes, sir. I was asking how did they get the information immediately a scorer scores a goal, just like Mohamed Salah, for example. He scores a goal and they say yes.
Yes,
so
it's simple.
It's
simple. It's simple. They've done research. Before they get into any game, they have researched everything. It's the same thing I do also. All games have been researched and all that stuff. So the minute it's scored, they're giving you the stats because they have it already. They have it all lined up. They will tell you for every time Salah scores in the first half, Liverpool goes on to win a game. The stats are there. They have it all written down. It's with them. Some of them, of course, because they followed it for long, it's in their mind. When I say in their mind, they've already researched it, so they know it. So they just deliver it. But most of the time, as commentators, they have things written down. I can tell you, like the Nigerian commentator guys, they just have the names of the guys written down, how many goals they've scored in the season, all of that information. So by the time anything happens, they just wheel out the stats to you. And one of the things that actually impresses me the most is, or rather that excites me, is when people come to our studio and they're like, oh, wait, I thought you actually read from a teleprompter. I said, I've never read from a teleprompter. Everything you see comes from me. And remember, spontaneity must become one of the skills you have, where you speak extempore. What that means is you speak off script. There's nothing there, but you are prepared for it. That's why you have to know things. That's why you have to know things. One of the skills you can also have as a presenter is flow with the trend of time. How many people remember or know this guy? Bros, I greet you. I greet you, bros. No, that one. Touch that bros, what did it? That bros will wear brazier. Let me touch that bros will wear green boxers. Yeah, bros, I greet you. Everybody know that guy, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Incorporate it in your show. I do it. I do it. I use the language, social media language for now. Those are the ways you evolve and still maintain. You understand? Those are the ways you evolve and still maintain, and still stay relevant. Incorporate it. And you keep evolving. All right? So research. You do research before you go on there. Don't just jump on there like that. Blessing. Oh, Emeka, you still have anything?
Yes, sir. I want to say thank you, sir.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir.
No, it's fine. I thought you had a question. It's fine. All right. Blessing, are you there? Oh, you just... Felix, does Felix come back again?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I want to read the questions from the chat box. We have questions from Bumi Nasiru.
Okay. Go on.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I read. Good morning, sir. Here are my questions. As a host, how do you handle unexpected or challenging moments during live broadcasts?
Okay, first and foremost,
how do you navigate the fine line between maintaining professionalism and creating a comfortable atmosphere for your guests? And the last question I read.
I think I can see the questions. I can read them. I'll just read them and answer them very quickly so it's faster. All right. Bumi, you need to tell me exactly what.
Can I continue?
No, don't worry. I think I'll just read them and go through them because of your poor network. So you need to tell me exactly what are challenging moments during live broadcasts. If it's something I explained earlier on, maybe that kind of answers it for you. But I need to know what you will consider challenging moments and during live broadcasts. One thing you must, I don't know if you've ever seen one video on social media where a lady was interviewing this guy and the guy's chair broke and he fell off. You understand? Now, that is a challenging moment, maybe, but if that was me, I would turn it around, I will turn it around. I said, you know what? This would be a good time for a break so we can get proper cheers. But look, my brother, I'm sorry about that. I actually wanted you to fall off the chair. That's why I got you the bad one. Because the truth is, you got to make your organization look good. You also need to pacify this person because now they feel bad. They feel awkward. Like, oh, see what just happened to me on air. So you got to find a way to play around that. I know for a fact that I will make fun of that. I will make good play with that. Not make fun of it, make good play with that. Hence why, in answering your second question, which is how do you navigate the fine line between maintaining professionalism and creating a comfortable atmosphere for your guests? Always talk with your guests before you go on air. Always. That's why you must invite them early. Now, what now happens if they breeze in? You must research who your guests are. You must. If you know this so-and-so person is coming, you need to do a bit of research on them. Because when they come in, and so for instance, when we used to have, when Africa Sports On was sports and entertainment, it's still sports and entertainment, but then we used to have guests coming. There was a guy who came in, he's an artist, his name is Rick Hassani. It's the guy that sang, of course, you know him. Thunder, fire, you. That guy. So, of course, I knew he was coming in, and I had gone to research him. And by the time I came, I said, you know what? Quick fire question. I need you to tell me what these things mean. Meat pie. He laughed because he knew where that was coming. That was how he got into music, because he used to follow his sisters to the choir there. And because they offered meat pie and drink. You get it. But the fact that I could go into that and he knew that, it would make him very excited. So research your guests, right? But if they come in, try as much as you can to get your guests early. So on my show now, I've invited somebody. I said, you need to be at the studio by 6:30. What that means is the show is at 7:30. So it gives me time to interact, to engage them, just talk to them. Generally, I'm not even talking about what they want to talk about. Generally. But if you want to talk about what they want to talk about, you can talk about that also. Get into that. Just ask, questions and all of that. Make them understand. So television doesn't give you all of that time. You got to find that 3-4 minutes you have, pushing all you need to push in. That means you don't ask too long a question, right? So those are ways you can do that. Number 3, can you describe a particular challenging or memorable interview you have conducted? What did you learn from that experience? I think every interview I did was, so I'll tell you this one. It was, the NPFL was moving to their new office. Then Glo was the sponsor, so they got them a building. So they moved to their new office, and my boss told me, oh, I had to fly to Abuja to go do the official opening. He told me this at 11 o'clock. My flight was at 8 o'clock. The event was for 10. So by the time I got to the airport, of course, I got my ticket and everything, waited. They delayed the flight till 10. So I called the chairman of the NPFL and say, boss, they don't delay flight till 10. He said, you know what? We will not start until we get here. Again, there's a level I've built my craft to. So by the time I got into Abuja, got there, they started the event about to 12. So the event went on, of course, with cameraman and everything. I saw the minister. I said, Minister, how you doing, sir? Can I have a quick one with you? I said, of course, my sports friend. I put the mic, had an interview with him, and I took my mic off. Was done. Thank you so much, sir. Have yourself a lovely day. Another guy now stopped and said, hello, Minister, and everything. The man just walked away. Again, how you carry yourself. And by the time I was done, I told the chairman, sir, I need to leave now. So I said, wait. So he goes upstairs, sends somebody upstairs, they bring an envelope, he gives me 200,000, and I leave, head back to the airport. So it was a week later, one of the journalists there, all the journalists were there, all that stuff, said, you didn't collect your share of the money they gave us and everything. I said, they gave you for money. He said, yes, sir. They gave all the journalists 150,000 to share. My point is, there's a level you build yourself to where you can call anybody for interview, they respond to you, where they don't see you like any other journalist, because you will never go around saying, looking for somebody to give you handouts, or when you interview, you're waiting for them to give you something. I never did that. And when they did, they gave me because they want to, because of anything I can afford it. You get, not because I had money also, but it was just the way I built myself. Respect yourself, maintain a lane, have that credibility for yourself and integrity. So they gave everybody 150K to share, and I'm talking almost 20 journalists, but they gave only me 200,000. Build yourself. So it was very interesting for me that I can stop anybody, have an interview with a person. That not many people can. That is very important. I hope I answered, but then if not, please come to me. I give says that, thank you, sir. So you said you need to have knowledge of an idea of all things. Yes, I think I answered that. So I don't have interest in sports. As a matter of fact, I do not like football. Football is not sport. It's not the only sport. There are other sports you can have interest in, but I think I answered it. Do you think that could be a hindrance on upcoming? No, it's not. What do you want to do? There's so much to do as a TV presenter. I think that's all the questions. Emeka, I see your hands up. Anything?
Oh, okay, sorry, sir. It was the one I raised earlier. Let me just take it down now.
Okay. All right.
Oh. But can I ask just one more, since you have given me this opportunity?
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. I want to ask, sir, in actually thriving in this industry, do you need to actually be very close to some persons you look up to, like being close to them? I mean, like having been in contact with them one-on-one, or just watching them is enough for you to actually learn from them?
I would say get close to them. I would say get close to them. When you get close to people, you see things much more closer, you know things much more closer. You can learn from afar, but get close to them. That also goes a long way. I would say get close to them. But don't be intrusive.
Okay.
Don't be intrusive. Okay. Don't bother them. You understand? Get close to them.
Okay, so on this platform, I will actually need your assistance so that my boss and father can actually allow me to be very close. Thank you, sir.
I set up. Your boss and father will sort you out. Don't put me in between your boss and father. Keep your family problem to yourself. Don't bring it to me.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Salami Olabanjo. Don't share.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, man.
I'm so privileged of your class, and I'm not taking any moment for granted. My question is about the business aspects of the radio. As a presenter, I don't want to be on air just talking, educating people, making impact without helping the station or the firm to grow. And I'm more concerned about bringing into the firm as well. That's why I want to ask about, I want to learn more about sponsorship, getting my sponsor or getting people to support my program. Now, how do I source for sponsor? Is it up to the station to do that, or I go out there, go to the field myself, and then speak to one or two business to see how they can make their promotion in my business? That's the first on my show rather. That's my first question. Then the second question is, how much impact does my guest have for these sponsors? For example, if I want to have, I study economics and also study fishery. If I want to have an agricultural business show or a microeconomy economics business show, and I intend to get my guest on my show, how much impact will my guests make to bring sponsors? That's my question.
All right. Let me try my best to answer the question as much as I can. First and foremost, when you say your show, is it the show you conceptualize or the radio station show?
Okay, the radio station show.
All right, then it's not your show. The radio station will do all they can. They expect you to make the show as widely possible, popular as you can, by your skills, your talents, and of course the guests you bring in, all of that. Once that show becomes quite popular, it is the responsibility of the marketing team of the radio station to sell that show and say, look, this particular show airs at so and so time. It catches this demographics who are the core of your clientele. You know, so they are the ones that goes out to sell it. Doesn't mean you also can't sell it, but if that's going to happen, sign a deal with the organization and says, if I bring in a sponsor, I need to get a commission out of that. I need to get some point out of that. So let's say you're going to bring a sponsor who's bringing in 10 million. You're saying to them, you're not telling them 10 million. You're just saying, if I bring a sponsor, I get 20% gross. Before they now tell you, oh, we spend this, so this is what is left, and that's what you get 20% of them. So if I bring the sponsor, I get 20% out of it. What the sponsor brings in. And you can go ahead, of course, they'll be more than happy for you to do that. They can negotiate it with them. You know, so we'll give you 15, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 5, whatever it is. But you know that if you can bring in a sponsor, that's extra money for you, because that's aside the fee the radio station is paying you. That's extra money. Now, it's a whole different kettle of fish if the show is yours. So that means you buy airtime. So with that, you have much more flexibility to do whatever you want to do. Once you get sponsors, the money comes to you, because what you're buying is just the airtime, and you can do whatever you want to do on that show. That's a whole different story. But if it's the station that owns it, your job is to make that show widely popular and acceptable and it has good following, then the marketing department goes ahead to sell it. I hope that answers for you.
Yes, sir. That's cool.
All right.
Then my second question is about my guests coming up on the station show. Now, how much impact, for example, if I know if I have a guest, someone like Pastor David Ibiumi coming on my show, I'm going to have so much followers because I'll be using this for a lot of people want to listen to him. So how much will this pull? How much will this make? How much impact will his presence help to promote sponsor or let's say adverts on the show? That's what I'm looking at.
Again, I'm not particularly sure I follow your question well, but let me answer from how I understand it. When you have someone like Bishop Ibiumi on your show, what that does is, first and foremost, it gives you credibility because Bishop will not go on any kind of show. So for him to come on your show, everybody takes attention at you. So if you have him, the next time you have another big guest, the next time you have another big guest, it automatically says your show is the show to be on. So the monetary value comes over time. It doesn't come immediately. You understand? What that means is sponsors can look at it and say, this guy has so and so and so and so. So the kind of eyeballs is pulling. That's a lot of eyeballs. So it's okay, fine. Let's go on it because he always gets the big guns. So if you can manage to get big personalities on your show, that grows your show normally and that brings in monetary value over time. I hope that answers.
Exactly, sir. Thanks for answering my question, and I appreciate that. I've learned so much from my boss and my father, Sammy, and I'm taking every step. He always pulled the big guns into his shoe, and I think that's one step I want to take. And I appreciate your concern, sir.
My pleasure. So at this point P, time T, moment M, I submit the group back to the owners of the group. Thank you for having me. I hope this has been as much fun as it has been for myself. I really appreciate you all. I know you guys will do great things ahead. Please, when you see me in the future or in the nearest future, don't be offended when I don't recognize you. Understand that I only heard your voice, I don't know your faces. All right? So just tap me and say, great boss, you were with us.
Please, can I?
Sammy?
Yes, I was saying, can I just quickly say this before you take your bow? First thing first, my apologies for the interference. I'm actually driving and doing this. I had to make sure that I didn't miss a second of this class because I was also a student today. So I know how busy you are. I know how busy you are, but you made our time to be here with us today. We really appreciate. And in summary, I will say this. I always say to students in this group, we have a WhatsApp group where we communicate. I say to them that they are all my responsibility. I say to them that they are all my children. Now, to all the students, let me put things in perspective. The person who has been speaking to us for the last 2 hours and 43 minutes is somebody who is not just a senior colleague to me. He is like a father to me. I've done so many jobs in my life, media-related jobs, international jobs. I wrote with supersport.com, radio, TV. But no disrespect to any of my previous employers or present employers. My job on radio with Mega Electrics is the most important job I've ever done. I'll go into the reasons in future, not today. I bring this up because the person who helped me get that job is the person who is speaking to us right now. And it goes back to a question that somebody asked, if it's important to have a relationship with, influential people in the industry. Yes, it is. Mr. Mozez Praiz actually made a phone call that made it possible for me to get the most important job of my life. So I hear some of you say, oh, my father, my boss, my mentor, Gasami. The person who has been speaking to us is somebody that I see as a mentor's mentor, somebody who I see as a father. So I don't want any of us to take what we've learned over the last 3 hours or so for granted. Boss, you're busy. I won't keep you any longer. I want to thank you on behalf of everybody here. I believe I'm speaking for everybody here when I say this has been one of the most important Mondays in our lives. We are going to say thank you to you properly in our traditional way. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and for the.
I thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I really appreciate you all. You guys think it's a privilege to listen to me. I think it's a privilege and honor that I can share my experiences in the business of broadcasting with you. I don't want you to tell yourself to just be a TV presenter. I want you to look bigger and say, you're a broadcaster, you're a media practitioner. I remember when Sammy was starting this and he said he was the next TV star, something like that. And I said, no, you are limiting yourself. You should be the next media star. You understand? You want to build people up in the business of media. And media is very wide and varied. And the opportunity therein abounds. So it's not really about the financial gains. Those will come in due time. That's what happened with me. It will come in due time. You understand? I have had some experiences that money can buy. I went to Austria, flew business class from Nigeria to Austria, well, stopped in Turkey, back and forth, business class, to watch Formula One. I went on a Friday, came back on a Monday. I flew for 2 days. So let me give you this. I'm going somewhere with this. Flew on Friday, arrived there on Saturday morning. That Saturday, drove 4 hours to where the racetrack is to get my accreditation. Saw the place, drove back another 4 hours that Saturday. Sunday morning as early as 7, drove 4 hours to the racetrack because my accreditation was VVIP. So I was on the paddock where I was looking down at Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, all of them, seeing all of them. I was looking down into the pit stop where the cars will stop and they change the tires. That's why it's called the pit stop. Seeing everything happening. I was seated with people who came with, there was a park for helicopters. There's another park for the private jets. And so I was seated with the biggest of the biggest there. And when I was leaving, it was an experience of my lifetime. It did not cost me a dime. It was all because of the value of the name Mozez Praiz over time, over the years. That Red Bull gave me that opportunity. And I think you will have a whole bunch of that also come your way. So don't be too stuck on money. Don't be. Be stuck on building your name, building that brand. Most importantly, again, I'm being careful about saying building the brand. I would say be locked in on delivering a good job every time. That's all you need to do. And the consequence of that is fame. It's financial emolument. It's golden opportunities. It's proper relationship and connections. That's what happens because you deliver a good job. Thank you all. God bless you all. I hope to see you in the nearest future doing great things. Bye. You can give me a thumbs
Okay,
up.
thank you so much, sir. I must say you have impacted us positively today, and we are not ungrateful. We are highly appreciative for your time and the lifetime lessons that we would not take for granted. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Can I go now?
We don't want you to go, sir, but we can't help it.
Can't be here now. I can't see any one of you. All I'm seeing is just picture. I'm sure some of you are in your house. You are tying wrapper up and down. God sees you. God sees you. All right, people. Thank you so much, and we will see another time. Cheers.
Okay, everyone, the class has ended, so don't forget to submit your assignments immediately before the next class. Thank you.